All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a Houston Rocket video. We're going to go ahead, recap this Summer League game. They unfortunately lost. Now, I was live for it if you guys were there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. They lost to the Raptors 76-92. It was a horrible game. Before I go any further in this video, Jalen Green was injured. They took him out at the end of the second for a tight hamstring. Now, apparently this was something that was tweaked in the first game of the Summer League, so this was just more of a precautionary measure. If you ask me, by the time this video comes out, by the time you're watching this, they might have an answer for Sunday's game. It's good that the Rockets' next Summer League game is Sunday, but it's only one left. Yeah, you've got the playoffs, but honestly, they might just wait it out until the preseason. I don't want to risk anything with Jalen Green. If it was actually just tightness and there was nothing else to it, then maybe he will play. But I would say right now it's probably a 50% chance that he plays on Sunday against the Orlando Magic for our last Summer League game. It's nothing to freak out about. We'll learn more as the time goes on, as the days go by, but seems like it was just a tightness issue and they didn't want to risk it. So I think we learned 100% that Jalen Green, even though it is the Summer League, his impact and presence on the basketball court is really unreal. I mean, the Rockets, once Jalen Green was out of the game, they completely fell to shambles. The team wasn't even playing good with Jalen Green on the court. Jalen finished with 13 at half, and he was really their only bright spot. I believe he was their biggest scorer, and he only played half the game. So, looking at the statistics, they out-rebounded the Raptors. The Raptors out-assisted, out-stole, out-blocked, had less turnovers, had better field goal percentage, had better three-point percentage, but actually didn't have better free throw. So, majority, they had more fast break points, they had more second chance points, they had way more points in the paint. They just beat the Rockets in every category. They had a run of 20 straight points. It was bad from the get-go, and if you guys watch my videos, you know I've made videos on the Raptors. They have an elite lockdown defense. I think that people are forgetting how good this defensive squad is. They have over 5 guys with 7 feet wingspans. I guess they have 3 players who are under 6'5". I mean, this team defensively is just set up for very long-term success. So you knew it was going to be a grind right away, but when you have guys like Josh Christopher shoot 4 of 18, Alfred Şengün shoot 3 of 10, Anthony Lamb shoot 2 of 7. It just wasn't looking good at any point. And like I had mentioned, Jalen Green ended with the best stat line for them. He had 13 points. He ended with 13 points, shot 3 of 5 from deep, 4 of 8 from the field. I thought he had a really good game. They were heavily guarding him, much like Detroit was, but he figured it out. He was figuring it out, and he was literally one of the only offensive bright spots in the game. Now, just going top to bottom, you had Josh Christopher. As I've been mentioning several times, pretty much every video I make for the Rockets, Josh Christopher will spend he'll spend the season in the G League. I'm sure he'll get called up at one point, especially if there's injuries and all that stuff. But, I mean, Josh Christopher belongs in the G League. 4 of 18, I don't know why people are that surprised. He was really inefficient in college, especially from the three-point line. I don't know why he took 9 threes. Well, actually, some of them made sense, especially at the end of the game. If the game's already over and you're just trying to get more reps, I guess those made a little bit more sense. But he took 3 threes in the first. None of them really made sense. None of them were that open. I don't really know why he sticks to shooting threes when his bread and butter is driving to the lane. That was my biggest concern. You guys have heard me say it several times. My concern is that Josh Christopher, they convince him, they sag off so much that he has a wide open 3 and he takes it. They bait him into taking that instead of doing what he does best, driving. So he finished the night at 4 of 18. However, he had really good defensive. He had 2 steals. He had 2 blocks. Defensively, all 3 games he's done very good, and that's the reason why it's not the end of the world. Inefficiency was his issue coming into the draft. A lot of people just don't really scout, or maybe they just are unaware of their draft picks, but that was Josh Christopher's issue in college. So the defensive potential and the offensive potential, you combine those two and you have a really promising player, but I do think he'll spend most of the league in the G League. KJ Martin, 9 points tonight. He had 2 steals, 2 blocks. Other than that, not too much, 4 of 7. I would have liked to see KJ be a little bit more aggressive. Şengün was pretty aggressive. He finished just 3 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from deep, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. He missed 2 in a row at the end of the game there, but I guess he was a little aggressive. At the same time, he wasn't. Finished with 9 points, 5 fouls, 5 turnovers. Did get to 11 rebounds. You knew this game was coming. To be quite honest with you, this is actually almost exactly how he played in the first game, just maybe not on the same defensively. He had 2 steals and a block, whereas in his first game, he dropped 15 points, 15 rebounds on 4 blocks, but he shot extremely inefficient. I believe it was 3 of 12 from the field. So I think people overreacted with Şengün's first game, just the ability or the fact that he can show, even when he's inefficient, he can still put up a good stat line. Gives me a lot of promise. It gives me a lot of hope. So what a lot of Rocket fans were calling for was Christopher Garuba to the G League, Şengün off the bench to start this next season, just until they get it figured out. We'll see. Preseason hasn't even happened yet. The Summer League isn't even over. This is just one game. It's not really worth overreacting to it. But I would say I don't think Şengün necessarily had a good game tonight. Marcus Foster finished with 11 points. I think most of it was garbage time. I don't really think he'll have much of a role on this team. Usman Garuba, long-awaited debut, 0 points. He finished with 0 points. It was not his day. He had 3 personal fouls. He did have 6 rebounds. He did have a steal. I think a lot of people are going to knock Usman Garuba for taking as many 3-pointers as he did, when in reality, I'm sure this is what he did in Real Madrid. Whenever he was open in the corner, you're just not as open as you are in the NBA as you are in Europe. I think that what they probably told him, what Will Weaver told him, was if you have the open 3, if you're in the corner, take it. If you got an open shot, take it. They probably said this to all of their players, but Usman Garuba, whenever he got the ball, he would pretty much, like in the corner, if he was open for a 3 in the corner, he'd pretty much put it up right away. And that was actually a weakness I thought he had at Real Madrid, Barcelona, all that stuff. When he would get a 3, it seems like he would have to kind of convince himself to take it. Tonight, he seemed ready, seemed like he had one thing on his plate. When he got the ball, he was going to shoot it. I'm sure he'll learn, more pump fakes and all that kind of stuff. But it was good to see him at least have the open shot in the corner. However, a lot of people didn't really want to see him in the corner. Matthew Hurt, 2 of 3 tonight, 2 of 2 from deep, 6 points. He only played less than 10 minutes. I would have liked to see a little bit more of Matthew Hurt. I feel like they're barely going to play him in the 4th game and then just unfairly cut him after it. And it's like, I feel like we didn't really get a good enough sample size of Matthew Hurt. There was a point tonight where the Rockets were 2 of 14 from deep, and the only 2 makes they made at that point were from Jalen Green. And to me, that's when you start to put in shooters. Matthew Hurt is 6'9". He can play the 3. He's a power forward, but he can play the 3, can play a big man 3. And he can stretch the floor. So I don't really know why he didn't get much run until really like the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously this isn't on Silas. I saw a couple people comment that in my live stream today that Silas was doing a horrible job. Well, Silas isn't the coach. So Anthony Lamb, I think, is the last guy we'll talk about here. It seems like most people want Anthony Lamb off this roster now. I kind of agree with them. I was hoping he would have at least one good Summer League game. He had a really deep 3 at the start of the game tonight, but it seemed like it was more of a coincidence, more of a lucky shot. He just didn't play good. Shot 2 of 7, 1 of 6 from deep, 5 points, 6 turnovers. I mean, he had more turnovers than he had points. It just isn't looking like Anthony Lamb might be fit for the Rockets. And it's funny because a lot of people were saying this about Kyrie Thomas the last 2 games, but he didn't play. So now that has shifted on Anthony Lamb. NBA.com actually has Anthony Lamb listed at a center. I'm not quite sure why. Justin Anderson, no other comment other than I don't know why he's here. Probably just for depth reasons. That's going to be it for today, guys. Jalen Green, wouldn't freak out. We still got Sunday, the playoff. You still got the Summer League playoffs. But yeah, it's never really fun watching your team just get absolutely demoralized, but it really isn't the end of the world. So they'll bounce back. Everything will be okay. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit that sub button. It's greatly appreciated, and I'll see you guys later.